Vanilla Bean's a Z10 legendary, isn't it? I think it was bred from a Z9 and a Z1. So I actually bred a couple like that as well, and this is probably something that you should be mindful of. If you breed that with the Z1, I don't know if you have or not.
Yeah, I have. So one of the horses, the Night King, he was a Z1 and Zombie Boy.
Yeah, right. How's that horse going?
It's started well, but he's limited to like class 4, I think.
Like you're obviously starting class 5.
Yeah.
Which is what I like, but you got some Nacco blood in there.
But I'm right there with you. I feel like if you can get the potency of your racer, but you get him in a class 5, I mean, you have the whole world to work with. I mean, it's the complete opposite of the graveyard. You know what I mean? The world's your oyster.
Doofy, I want you to pull up one of the Buterans I just bought because it's a Z1 and a Z17, I think, Buteran legendary, and the thing is just an absolute beast. It's like 90% ROI right now.
Wow, let's bring that up.
The horse name is Deep Sea Sniper.
Oh,
I've seen this horse, I think.
The line is insane, honestly. It's Buteran's just continuously bred into Z1s.
So it's a Z80. Yeah, right. Let's have a look. So you've got the Z1 stallion, decent Z1 stallion into C mine. So I'm assuming if we follow the mare's bloodline here, we've got another.
No, but then the kid Star Sniper is also bred into, I think. Oh no, it's bred into Starlet. I don't know Starlet, but it's just Z1s. Right. Starlet's got some insane blood. That's Vanilla Bean's dad. There you go.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? So it's gone down the. It looks like it's gone down the Buteran line. What's this? Well, this would be like a.
That's a Finny, right?
Finny. Okay, so that's. See, this is something that I've been talking about getting a horse with all of the bloodlines in it. So they've gone Finny and Buteran, exclusive mare again in this one, and then they've got a Z8. I'm assuming this is a Buteran, yeah, Genesis, and Gay Waterhouse. I know this horse,
and that's got the Zabo blood. So yeah, it does have every bloodline in it. And I actually want to take Deep Sea Sniper and breed it into Judy Punch, which is Zook's horse, because that is a Genesis royal blue coat Zabo, and I want to create a Z22 exclusive from Deep Sea Sniper and see what happens. Maybe get a super coat too.
Sheesh.
That looks epic.
The line really intrigued me. That was like the biggest draw for me. Obviously, the horse is a beast itself and pulls great odds, but the line was really, really intriguing to me.
So we confirm that this horse has bloodlines from all 4?
Yep.
Yeah.
All 4 bloodlines. Yeah.
What order did it receive them in?
Nacca and Zabo into straight Buteran, and then it's bred into a Finny, and then it's bred back with a Nacca.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's everything.
That's crazy.
And then the kid of Deep Sea Sniper is Vanilla Bean's sibling as well.
Yeah, and Star Sniper as well.
The hell of a family.
I like the way that's coming out.
Right? It's really crazy. I saw that and I was like, I haven't even put it on the track much because I accidentally bumped it into class 3 because the horse is just a winner. So I really haven't been running her much, and I'm kind of just more interested in breeding her and seeing where it takes me.
Congrats, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, I don't really know what the plan is yet. I did pay a pretty penny for it, but at the same time, I'm very happy with being able to test with a horse like that because I don't know much about breeding, and I'm excited to learn once it's back up.
Doofy, when you breeded at Tariq, was that random or did you plan that whole thing out?
That was the first horse that I tested inbreeding on. If I had tested this earlier, which is what I'm testing now on the Ducky Malin Breathless Edge offspring, in sort of getting back that inbreeding a bit higher in. So it came directly from James Tedesco, which is from Sabre and S&M, and S&M is from Breathless Edge and Boiling Religion. But if you look at S&M's record, it's okay. And what I was actually going for out of this breed was to breed it with Breathless Edge, and I was trying to create a Sir Aquamarine Supercoat. I wasn't actually really overly focused on the inbreeding capabilities. I was aware of it, but I wasn't overly focused on it. And so this is a Z3 Legendary from Breathless Edge and Evolution ID. So that's where I fucked this up, where I could have kept Atari as an exclusive if I had thought about it earlier, which is what I'm trying to do now with the Breathless Edge and Ducky Malin offspring. And then ideally I can get an exclusive filly that have sort of come from, so Breathless Edge, can you see that on screen? So Breathless Edge, Ducky Malin, Breathless Edge, Ducky Malin, offspring, like that. And then I can't breed them together, but if I breed those ones with another champion, which I've done, and I'm looking for the best ones to have these two, I can then breed them together, which is still an elite. Now that I think about it, so I would have to breed one of the best one, which is an exclusive filly from that level back straight into a Genesis, like Breathless Edge or something like that, to sort of keep it at exclusive level. But I can't breed Ducky Malin back into it. I can only bring her bloodline down and crossbreed it.
You guys tend to think the elite is going to be the best racers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think it's a hot theory right now. I like it. I think it's a great idea. It'd be good for the ecosystem, but I'm not convinced yet.
I'm pretty convinced. I don't know. I look, if I'm looking at the data now, you look at. I reserve the right to change my opinion based off the information I have at the time. But I look at the legendaries as like holders of genetics almost. They're not really doing a lot on the racetrack. If you look at how many legendaries there are and how many good ones there are, they're sort of a long distance between. The exclusives seem to be the key breeders for me. And then I think that if you were to continue breeding those exclusives out, this is Poseidon's theory, that if you like, you stack Nax and stack Zabos and you bring those two down to exclusive and you have like 10 breeds in them, and then you breed the best exclusives down here together to create an elite, that should hopefully bring in some of those genetics. So I think that's why they're going to become the best in the game on the racetrack. And I think a lot of people are sort of focusing on that. Do you mind talking about your breeding strategy, Zombie or Jack or LJ?
No, I think right now I'm just trying to keep as much of it in-house as possible, because my stable, like looking at some of the ones on here, it's pretty small in comparison. I think before breeding, I had about 10 horses. Now it's up to like 50 because I managed to keep it all in-house kind of thing. So it's not so much like holding the zombie jet line, if you will. It's more to build out the stable.
One big dilemma I've been going back and forth on is that, so RP and Barack are both virgins right now. And I'm kind of worried, if I breed them with someone else and cut a deal, that's going to kind of allow competitors to use that blood and make a killer. So I guess that's a dilemma I'm going through right now. Do I want to keep all the blood in-house, or do I want to start cutting deals?
I think it goes both ways, though, because as soon as that, if, say, the blood does get out there and people are breeding with it and making these super horses, if anything, that just puts the value up on yours.
Right. I think it's a really good option. I do it a lot if all things are even. Like I partnered up with Poseidon and bred Grandeur with Ducky Malin, and we kept one each. So if you look at those two horses, I think all things are fair there. And my horse hasn't been performing on the track, but I'm not overly worried because it's a legendary. I've got that bloodline. I put a lot of horses, my tier 2 horses, in the breeding barn to public breeding, not only to get a bit of ETH in the wallet, but also it was an opportunity for me to test those horses in the breed barn and see which one I might want to keep later on. And if they bred a couple of killers, you sort of let it go. I mean, do you remember Ace King back in the day, LJ? Like that came from Chronic Gangster. Oh man, like this horse was a freak on the track. Yeah, it was like one of the best horses in the game back before the reset. And that came from Chronic Gangster. And I was fucking kicking myself when I let that thing go. But it made Chronic Gangster super valuable, and I put his next breeding up heaps. I want to answer this question for Matt, if you're still here, mate. So I think what you're trying to say here is, do the genetics change from an unraced to a raced if you breed the same horse? I think that the offspring and the genetics do change. It's a theory, because what I've sort of read in my time in the game is that when you breed two horses together, it takes a snapshot. I don't know what that snapshot is, whether it's win rate, ETH1. There's a couple of different theories on that as well. But it definitely takes a snapshot of that horse in time. Yeah. So I bred this horse months ago, and this was not what the Evolution ID had a better win rate, and Breathless Edge had a better win rate. I'm pretty sure I bred this horse when Breathless Edge was at like 40% win rate. So that's an interesting thing as well, because if it is a snapshot in time, it should show the record of the horses at that point in time, because I can't breed the genetics of what the horse does after, right? It's already been bred. So I don't know.
See, I tried to create the perfect picture snapshot breeding scenario where I had the dad was 100% with 2 wins. The mom was 100%. And I bred them. I was like, all right, if it's a snapshot, here we go. Like, this should be a super good offspring. And it was one of the ones that was great ingredients and, in fact, wasn't good offspring. I was really surprised. I was like, I don't know what else I could put together here. But, like, yeah, so I'm not convinced that it's a snapshot either. I mean, I think it could be, like, that there's elements of it that are a snapshot and there's elements of it that aren't. So.
Yeah, I've got a horse now that is actually one of Zombie's offspring, and it's won 4 of its last 5, and that's just not getting touched now until breeding's back, just in case.
Nice, all right.
Yeah. You guys tell me what you think, but I feel like having an elite male right now is probably so much better than having a female, because if you have a Breathless Edge, you could kind of cut a deal and end up with 3 to 4 babies a month, whereas you have an elite female, you could only get 2. So what do you guys think about that?
It's profitable in the breeding barn. I whacked Atari in the breeding barn for 0.3 Ethereum, I think, and they got snapped up instantly.
I would say it depends what you want to do. I think if you want to maximize your profit, I think you'd rather have a colt, because that's what the stud farm is designed to do. But in another way, like, you could seek to maximize your profit by selling the offspring, although I don't know that that's necessarily the play you'd want to take. Then you would want to have the fillies.